last time, on a set of glass wind chimes, the introduction to the third arc, excuse me, commenced. And in this introduction, I apologized for the gene pool that I come from because Ashton just has to talk at 10 decibels for the entirety of his life. But mostly, it was a much calmer session where the players all settled in the crater that the tiered moon had become. Virgil had come to them eventually with news about... actually, you know what? I'm also going to unserver mute you guys just because you might remember more things than I will.
I have already done it. Oh! For me, which is what counts.
Perfect. So, Virgil spent a little more time in Eden because whether it was out of worry for who has been dubbed the Primaveral or some other motive remains to be seen, but it was under the guise of empathy that he stayed behind to look after them. Albus also went unaccounted for the entirety of the session. There was a brief spat around the facsimile of a campfire, just kind of breaching up through some of the ruins between Cecil and Amalia at the analogy of a ship's crew that had kind of been hanging over everyone's head for probably the last week and a half or so. Further, if you extend it back to Calliope, but let's see. Cecil went off and did some scouting to look for the two Tenebrae people that briefly met with the party, then fucked off.
Nah, Cyrus and Stella are stuck with us.
I mean, now they are, but they fucked off initially.
Oh,
You went and looked for them. You learned some important information from them as well.
Yeah, about how the Tenebrae work.
The Tenebrae have 4 different sects to them, where it seemed like only one sect was really associated with what was going on in Cheruz, and they belonged to another one. The partner of Shirkin, who was the fellow that... Madhead, yes. The one who didn't blast off with Cecil, came and gave the party his well wishes before departing. You guys established that Veldana was some kind of secondary patron to Cecil that has yet to really be... the effects of which haven't really been seen yet, apart from Cecil's recuperation. Did Catherine get into anything? Right, yeah, Roderick's kind of definitely hanging around the party, and he had some important stuff to say to some people individually. He tried to get Catherine to empathize with the rest of the party a little more, even if they may all come off as insane.
I think that was
Yeah, I think
Amalia.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, I meant Amalia.
It was a very heavy Amalia.
Catherine
and
was
her
kind of
moral.
pottering about Oblivious, as I recall.
Let's see. What else is going on? Have I missed anything in particular?
Zaveline and Amalia.
Yes.
Also, there was also that bit with, getting the survivors to help out, burying people.
Yeah, that was actually a really big part, where Cecil etched a plea to everyone that was kind of spread out throughout the crater and the surrounding area, just kind of urging them to some kind of humane group action. A big theme in last session was that shared trauma cuts deep, and sure seems to be the case. There is a very thick smog in the air. It's not immediately around the party, but more this thick cloud cover, wherein they can't even really see the cliffs that surround the Sylvan district, nor the walls of the canyons that they're in. The light filtering through shows that it's still daytime, probably a little a little bit into the afternoon, and it seems like a decision had been made to set off to find some way to the Bastio district. Oh, also, Silverblood was recuperating in Zavoim's tent. I believe also Zavoim went over the significance of what he called the Stasilem.
Yeah, and we were
Yeah.
pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed anyway.
He called the Shadow Paragon a former Stasilem or a current Stasilem, depending on how you look at said Paragon. He currently considers her to still be a Stasilem, but there's some conflicting works in writing. And the Bastio district, what was there? It was kind of
Oh yeah, that's what we did. We voted on where to go.
it was advised through Cyrus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of which, as that's been said, Cecil's packing. Cecil's like getting ready to go. And is like kind of looking at everyone like to see if they're doing the same thing, and if they aren't, he's gonna be kind of like giving them weird eyes.
Roderick definitely
Yes,
is.
that was the rest of the recap.
Catherine's inventorying all her equipment and making sure it's in the right place. And she's doing it pretty fast because she's hoping to have some time to just. Well, anyway, we'll get there. I suppose on the ship. Yeah, she's inventorying her stuff.
We
Virgil
ca-
is
we
doing
can't
the
get there on the
exact
ship.
same-
What's Virgil doing?
The exact same as.
You sound
the-
really, really distant.
Oh, hold up. Let me bring that. Is that better? A little bit?
Is
Little
is
bit
is
better?
this just me? Is anybody else barely hearing him?
He sounds alright.
No, he's absolutely
your
fine on my
volume.
end.
Try now,
Can you
Caro.
mute him?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, that's good. You were really low on my user volume, but I never changed it in comparison to like
Huh.
what you were at. So
Yeah.
Well, he's just doing the same thing.
Nah.
so this microphone is working. May God help us all.
Yep.
Um,
He's doing the same thing as Kavi, looking at the fucking organs. He's like, I was really hoping to, do something with these over here, but wasteland.
do you want to do anything with Abraxas' remains? Or did you acquiesce to Roderick's desire to bury him?
Virgil got the information he needed, so yeah, he's the current body is buried, even if the brain ain't there.
Zavoim raises a hand, and he says, "You all look to be departing relatively soon.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I were to remain here?"
I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I mean, you're not indentured. Yeah, stay.
Certainly not beholden to us. Though I do have a question for you. You're good with potions and serums and the like too, aren't you?
Wait, he's good with potions? Since when? Nobody told me this.
I've seen him. He's worth a bit of, surely.
All right, mister,
surely.
you're staying with us.
Zavoim just kind of brings a clawed hand up to in front of his mouth and just clears his throat. Am I now?
I mean, naturally, you don't really have to. Though your expertise
I
would be
ask you anything.
exactly.
I mean, you're just a Stossely guy, and now you do potions too? I mean, you must know, like...
Zavoim gives this snake-like smile to Catherine and says, "No, actually, I believe you're right. With the two of your excellence in bringing people back from the brink, I believe I shall replace you in your party, and you'll stay here to look after Silverblood in my stead."
Well, it's it's not exactly that easy.
Okay, I guess forget it. Whatever.
There's a whole other plane we have to deal
Never go
with,
back and
and
look at.
His eyes just lazily move over to you, feigning interest in what you're saying, Virgil, as you make his point for him. Oh, really? Is that an issue? Hmm. Hadn't thought of that one.
There's a little bit of an issue, yeah.
anyways, I just wanted you to take a look at where did I put it? Ah, here it is. This, and he
What is this?
hands over him the serum that Callie had given him back in the Cherries district. I just called it the bone serum because it was that serum that the one person was used. It was around what's his name, Rudolph.
I don't
No, you've
remember
lost
this
you,
at
you,
all.
you've lost me here.
There was some fucky serum that one of the people was carrying.
What
That
people?
Yeah, you're gonna have to narrow that down a fair bit.
I don't quite think it was a Tenebrae member, but it was definitely someone related during that. It was during the
Was it someone related to
Heard?
Frederick?
no.
Because there were Atzenalians in the Cherries district, and there were the Tenebrae.
Then it was definitely the Tenebrae because, like,
All right, I know.
unless they
All right,
had
great.
brought over.
I know what you're talking about. Then, thank you.
Okay.
So it's in a very thin kind of like science labby bottle with a cork stopper, as opposed to like one of those bold vials that is designed to carry a lot of liquid. And Zavalim kind of plucks it from your grasp and looks it over. This looks. He kind of turns it upside down, shakes it a little bit. This looks like it could be any number of things. And he hands it back to you. I don't think I can tell you anything more than that, really. Whoever wanted to design its purpose made its appearance ambiguous. So it was never designed for a shelf, I can tell you that much.
Well, I do know that at least some side effects was that your bones turned into metal. Our good friend Rudolph had figured that one out when he crossed the Tenebrae earlier, back in Cherries district, I believe it was.
Yeah, we never did figure out how Abraxi fixed Rudolph.
Zavoim opens his mouth and then closes it.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you turned your bones to metal, that would.
If you guys
I
recall the
distinctly
wounds,
remember the metal jetting.
it's not just that the bones turned to metal, it's that they turned into metal and then like splintered off into like tumorous spikes.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was very
right.
fucky, and there's a reason I've been keeping hold of it for desperate times.
Well then,
right.
I
No.
don't advise you to drink it.
Really? Hadn't occurred to me.
Listen, as a potion maker for a great long time now, I have to fight the impulse every now and then, in the name of science.
Ah,
That
very understandable.
likely would have ended that career had I not fought that impulse. He just glances back at the vial. Now then, you said it came. Did you explain to him where it came from?
Sure.
No, did you? Because he's still responding.
I did not. I just listed off
All right,
the
you
side
just
effects.
explained it to me, Eric. Perfect.
Yes.
So, Cecil, you're still kind of packing your stuff. You're probably 5 or 10 feet away from this conversation, but obviously you're still picking up on it, whether it's idly or unconscious. And
Yeah.
as some of this discussion is had, you notice Cyrus kind of shift a little uncomfortably.
Interesting. So Cecil kind of like leans over and was like, "Hmm."
leans over to who?
Cyrus.
Cyrus kind of. So as you lean over, he doesn't notice at first, but Stella does, and Stella just kind of reaches over and tugs on his sleeve and says, you have an admirer." And Silas turns around and goes, "Oh, is there something you want?" He's kind of got a little bit of a nervous look about him.
Oh, I was just going to ask if there was something troubling you. I mean, not to say.
He leans down and whispers, "It's that thing your friend has. I might recognize it, but I don't want to bring it up quite yet."
No, you can go
Okay.
ahead. Tell the
Yeah, you can
class.
tell us.
He's
Wait,
whispering
can we
this.
hear, can we
He's
hear
whispering this to Cecil. Catherine, are you like just sticking your head in from the side?
I was asking, wait, am I close enough to hear this?
You can be. You have high passive perception. It just matters what Catherine's focused on.
Well, she is focused on, yeah, she's focused on Zavoine. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, either way, you'll know. But what I was gonna say is just that, like, yeah, Cecil did lean in and just be like, "No, it's all right. Tell the class."
Now's really not a good time.
Doesn't particularly matter to me, Cyrus. I mean, come on. It's not exactly like, just please, honestly. I know it
Are
might
you
be
rolling
uncomfortable.
persuasion or
Yeah,
intimidation?
however are we gonna learn to reverse engineer it unless you tell us how it's made?
Actually, going back a quick few seconds, I'm pretty sure Cecil would have just said something to the tune of, "I'm gonna smack you up if you don't tell us." So it might be intimidation.
You're gonna have to say the new thing then, because they're
All
different
right.
DCs.
That's true. So the further Cyrus resists saying is like, Cecil just kind of like leans down to like match him sitting and just like, "All right, I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna smack you up if you don't tell me." And may I roll intimidation?
Go ahead.
What is your intimidation compared to your persuasion?
I'm just gonna wait one
He
second.
has
No.
intimidation as a
That might be
profession.
I should say really quick is that I'm gonna push that.
You're gonna push the 9?
No
Yeah.
problem.
All right. I think a 16 sounds about right.
So he definitely gulps, and he's put off by you. And what does he do?
What does he do?
I had a great response, and something went into my brain with an eraser and just cut out that entire gap while you were explaining what you wanted to do.
So is it Ashton talking in the background?
No, it's not Ashton talking in the background,
Probably.
but I do want to kill him. So he doesn't look like he's going to talk, but he also doesn't look like he can find the words to put that across. And Zavoim says, "Let the man have his secrets." As he just kind of picks at one of his talons with another one.
Oh, easy for you to
Come on,
say.
if we can't have your secrets, then I mean, who else's secrets are good enough?
I get the inclination that he's going to be sticking with you, aren't you, Mr. And Cyrus
Right,
just
so he should be telling us everything now.
gives a bit of a shaky nod, and Zavoim looks to you, Catherine, and says, "On the contrary, he needs all the advantages he can get, given how cutthroat you lot are."
I was certainly thinking about testing it on him, seeing if that would give us any information if he'd like to not be tested.
At this,
But-
Stella speaks up. "Oh, you all may think you're so scary, but this isn't as simple as a torture and question situation. We'll bite back, and we will take some of you with us." This is a union out of necessity, not out of
Fine,
pleasure.
I can wait.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't exactly threatening to kill any of you. I mean, that was more like Virgil's angle. I mean, I don't know what the hell that's like. What's in that vial?
Cyrus, like, looks at you, Cecil. He's still definitely put off by you, and he says, "No, I understood that completely. You're probably one of my favorites among you."
That's not exactly a good take, considering that I was the one who threatened you first.
So, if one of us were to become another favorite, would you tell us? That person, I
I'm
mean?
sure he'll tell
Hypothetically?
us in time.
Stella speaks up again. She says, "The road to favoritism is a very high one for you, little lass."
I'm dedicated. I can work on it.
She is a botanist. What?
Botany, Makes sense you'd have your hands in the mud.
Exactly. Honest mud. Can't beat it.
At that, Cecil starts to crack up. Just at that, like, honest mud.
Zavoim clasps his hands together and says, "All right, well, I don't see how any of this has to do with the recovery of silver blood, so until my head gets in between..."
Ah, right. Is
No,
there anything that I can do for that? Or I quite imagine that you have it well, but well, I did travel just a little bit, so I would feel bad if I didn't at least extend the offer.
Virgil, I leave you to your work. You will leave me to mine.
if you look over Virgil's shoulder, Amalia's just like lightly shaking her head.
Cecil leans back over to Cyrus and like takes out some rolling paper in a brown bag, presumably full of tobacco, and like as he's standing up, he's just like, "Hey, do you want to bum a tab? I'm gonna start leaving to the Bastio district about now."
I think that's a great idea, and he whispers afterwards, the favoritism wasn't necessarily about the torture, but the decisiveness, and he raises a single finger pointedly. Now then, everyone, before we get closer to one another's throats, let's remember our introduction of friendliness and follow Cecil's lead. Yeah?
I turn to Virgil and whisper, "What did I do wrong this time?"
I have no
People,
idea.
I wish they came with a scroll or textbook explaining them, honestly.
So at this, Amalia is gonna
Virgil
look at
pats his arm. I got one.
Amalia's just gonna look at Zavoim, sort of raises an eyebrow and remembers their conversation from earlier, and then it's just like, well, I will stay in touch with Sending. You don't happen to know that spell as well?
I have a few connections that know the spell, but I don't bother myself with things as troublesome as casting.
All right, then I will cast for you then.
Listen, Amalia, I like you, I do, but don't feel obliged.
Cecil's already left.
Yeah, I kind of have this image of Cecil, Cyrus, and Stella absolutely at the front of this caravan of people that have had their stuff ready.
Yeah, Cecil.
And Amalia, Virgil, Catherine, and Zavoim are kind of at the rear.
I want to say is that like Cecil packing his bags is just putting things into like the few pockets that aren't tarnished. He doesn't have
Few
much
pockets, quote unquote.
So what direction is Cecil walking in?
Literally, if it were a like, as far as like maps go, he's surprisingly good at like triangulating where they were in the Sylvan district and thus where the Bastio district has to be, right?
There
So-
are no possible landmarks to do that off of because of how fucked up everything got.
Right. No,
And the
right. Yeah,
sky
I
is
was expecting.
completely
Yeah, no.
small.
Yeah, no. You did. It does look like LA right now. Shit.
Ooh. You
Um,
are not allowed to eat My microphone.
Actually, Amalia can. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we can find where the Bastio district is.
So we're going back to the ship, right?
The
Why?
ship is broken.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And
All
you've
right.
killed
Then I'm going.
you've killed Guido, and there's no possible way we can get that working again.
Well,
All
Guido
right.
was a bastard and deserved it.
This is not in character.
Then out of character, Guido was a bastard, deserved it.
Fair enough. So Amalia is remembering the Bastio district is a giant floating city in the air, and is just going to look around to see where the nearest tall tree is. It's not being devastated by the moonfall.
Oh, wait. No, I figured something out. But I don't want to actually. I could theoretically use Rahimim to just climb up a bunch of rubble, like thrown up like pocket sand. But
Or we
how
could just
high-
climb a tree.
Yeah. But there are no trees.
Yeah,
Or we could
there's
walk.
You could find one.
when I said there's
Or we
no
could-
landmarks, the entire crater is a crater. It's rubble
Yeah.
and destroyed trees. Are you going
Yeah,
to
we're
the
in-
edge of the crater?
We're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
the edge of the crater
That's
to
a
find
start.
I
a
mean,
standing
we have
tree.
to go to an
Yes.
edge of the crater to get out of there.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Crater edge time.
One.
All right. So as you guys get to the crater edge, you actually do see the remains of what looks to be Cecil. You specifically notice it. It looks a little familiar. This looks like the woods you and Rudolph were going through on your way to the tiered gardens, like the very first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
However, this is way. These are the woods you went through like way earlier than you even reached the cliff face where he just like sat and waited with your
Stuff.
your shit. And what that means is, like, I'm gonna move you guys over to another map. You are here.
Yeah.
We're where?
We are in the death
oh.
hole.
Which means that this crater is fucking huge.
That's true.
Like,
But also,
as you get to this part of the woods, you realize that Cherville has been completely destroyed.
good night, Cherville. All I was gonna say is that we are close to that cliff face in the map, though. Yeah.
No, that's way in the foreground.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I'll give you a comparable location to the cliff face you can see the base of on the other side. It's right here.
Okay. So, this. I mean, I guess if we just keep walking in a direction, we'll get somewhere.
Presumably, I mean, it's a lot of woods that like aren't particularly inhabited or plucked with any reasonably large buildings
Eric,
to the south. What's up?
Where's the sun?
Where's the sun? No, you guys
What
can
time
tell
of
the
day is it?
direction. You can tell the direction now that you're at the edge of the crater. It's like I said, about mid-afternoon.
Yeah, all we have to do then is keep walking east.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
East, west. We need to keep walking west.
Great. Yeah, keep walking west. Then that means Amalia's probably in the foreground while Cyrus, Stella, and Cecil are like kind of like following right behind, and then
All right. So, are you planning on hitting the cliff by foot?
You're right, that will take a while.
Well, what else can we really do here? I mean, it's not like there's not much.
We
We've been
could
given.
track down some of our Goronja friends.
Okay.
I mean, I
Are
don't
they
know.
going to
I-
gonna have some they're not gonna be happy that Centra's kind of
yeah, that, and last I checked, they're not exactly, they're not gonna have a car prep for us. They're about as low tech as we are now.
On the other hand, where was the village you ended up in, Cecil?
Out of character, it was across a river.
So it's up there.
Looks to me like that's comparably either at the very edge of the crater or would have been destroyed by it. Perhaps being in a canyon of its own offered protection, but you gotta hedge your
Crater's
bets if that's what you're
pretty
gonna rely
big,
on.
about like that then.
This feels. I don't know. This feels like an interesting detour.
I was going to say they might have boat or something, and you could go by water, which would be quicker, but you would still end up, say, this is like a cliff face that you can go underneath, yeah? Or is it just a
Yeah, that is.
yeah? So you could go down there, you take the river down here, and you would end up here, and from there, once you've reached the cliff face, you could do something from there.
If that's all it takes. Well, actually, assuming that the crater hasn't utterly decimated the flow of water when it comes to that. Actually, no, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah,
could
if you went to the northern bank, it would be fine.
We could just fasten a raft with what we've got instead of making a big detour to a town that might not be there.
We could easily fashion a raft.
All right.
Amalia's made rafts before.
Yeah,
Sure.
Amalia's basically still. Yeah, Amalia is now the captain of a ship. But yeah, no, absolutely. If in character you wanna announce that, yeah.
All right, Eric, you're probably gonna say no, but can I can I manifest the Dragon King's ship without summoning the whole title?
You can certainly
like
try.
Oh, wait!
Could
if we need help
Could
going a place, I can help you go a place because I've got Crimple.
Wait, also that
Could I-
danger. Wait, could Danger Plant just fasten itself as a raft?
Yes, that too.
Actually,
Could
Crimple
I-
does have. Let's take a look.
Sorry,
yeah, Crimple
Stuart.
has this thing.
Stuart, I
Yeah,
don't wanna
Crimple
keep-
has to light the path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, yeah, go on,
and
Stuart,
Danger
sorry.
Plant can summon Crimple because
So-
I use Crimple's materia in Danger Plant.
So we definitely cannot
As long as it is within 50 miles.
All right, Eric,
I'd
be
love-
real with me here. Will you let me summon the ship?
You can certainly try.
That is usually DM for don't do it.
All right, yeah, I do want to
Would
say
you-
As
would
for the
you-
light the path thing, I'm going to give you guys what a 50-mile radius would be for you currently.
Please do.
is making a raft really an 8-step clock?
Depends on how you do it.
Well, as far as clocks go, I don't know. Anyways, what I was gonna say really quick is that the ship thing, you can certainly try. Would be don't do it in a maybe a Robert or a Stuart, but I think that Eric would enable you. Unironically, I think that there would be like a D100 roll or something that dictated it.
Listen.
Do you want to risk your life on a D100 roll?
I'm trying to parse
Yes!
to the future Eric, the Eric of Tuesday. Does the Eric of Tuesday want to consider to weigh his options on whether or not this session as well should be retconned?
That sounds pretty fucking heavy, Fergus.
All I'm saying is do what you want. The retcon decision is in your guys' book. I will just fucking kill you if you step on the right tails.
So that's 50 miles.
Hey, I have a question.
Or is that the crater?
That's 50 miles.
Hey, Eric. Does the surface of water count as a gargantuan object?
You know,
No.
that's technically fair.
All right,
It's
all right,
not.
Fergus.
It's like saying does
No.
the top of this box function as a shut up. It's stop.
All right, Fergus. In your heart of hearts, were you in my position right now? would you do it?
Yeah.
Right, we're not doing it then.
Hmm.
We're
Coward.
good.
See, this is what happens when.
Listen. If it was my campaign, I would 100% enable this, but
Oh well.
with Eric, I can only guarantee he would 90% enable this, and that 10% will get us killed.
Well, okay. So to start making a raft, I would like to use. Would perception work in scouting out things that are like structurally stable that are also like able to be lifted?
I would assume investigation
Yeah,
would be better,
investigation
in which
is
case
looking
leave
for-
that to Amalia.
Looking for things.
Investigation.
I wonder. Does a 38 break the DC?
If I roll a 30, wow.
Yeah, it would be funny.
I can't roll a 38. Will it with a 32 suffice?
Let's see the investigation.
The 287.
Oh my god.
Wow,
That's
a
relatively
3.
low for Amalia.
That's off.
Boost it.
Plus 13,
You
huh?
doing anything to that?
I want to surge it.
I would surge it, but also I don't feel like you need more than a 16 to find a tree.
You find
also-
you find a lot
But
of
also, not likely to be in combat today. Oh wow, 20.
you find
It's the same
you
thing.
find a lot of pliable, viable wood
That's so mean.
that could be used to create a raft. There's a lot of wood that's been
huh.
burnt by just like the vestiges of the shockwave that the crater probably had go like up past its lip, and you do a really good job sorting through all of that to find what would be best used, as opposed to wood that seems like it would be like good for this purpose, but in actuality would break down probably halfway through the journey. You also find some good binding material, some good like twine and plant life that can be coiled into rope.
Action number 2.
But I can use Danger Plant for that.
It's true, but also it doesn't help to
Well,
be
then
more
maybe
secure.
you should roll, Catherine.
I should say really quick is that
All
Can
right,
I
what should I
use-
roll?
Arcana? Nature?
Can we
Can-
let Fergus talk?
Okay.
can
No.
I use sleight of hand to tie the knots?
You can use a dexterity check.
All right. Is that wait, save or deck check?
You click dexterity.
Love to see it.
Oh, but would it help if Danger Plant held on to the bottom and paddled for us?
So we're still constructing the raft. We are not currently en route.
Right, but I'm saying, as you know, I'm
When
thinking
we
about.
get there.
In
13
reality, if
No.
Danger Plant is going to be on the raft with you, the raft is going to be, it's going to have to be A, a lot bigger, and B, a lot more stable. So with a 13,
No, not a 13 yet. With a 20. You fucking sack it.
you make some real good binding material, and now you have a raft that is not yet assembled.
Yeah. I'm
I
also
could-
going. I'm also going to need a sail. One of you would like to try and find one.
Cecil forgoes his coat.
The coat's not going to be big
Looks
enough.
like you're gonna
although,
need a little more.
although
than
I like
20.
Although I like the hustle. I like the hustle, but we're going to need more than a 20.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We could skin Zavaween. No.
We could sew our coats together.
Oh, good idea.
Like I said, you need a little over 20.
Well, that's a really big sail for like what 5 people.
Let's see. It's Cecil, Virgil, Amalia, Roderick, Catherine.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about
Cyrus,
everyone else.
Stella.
That's like 8 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1 tick per person, I suppose. Well, actually, all things considered, can I start going around and investigating for like tarp, or maybe Amalia can?
Sure.
Amalia is already. This is all happening at the same time.
Oh, okay, so I can't.
So,
So
Cecil and Amalia
Virgil, you're
are
gonna
like
Virgil.
doing a joint thing. What are Cecil or what are Virgil and Catherine doing? Are they playing tic tac toe?
Yeah, Virgil,
You know,
Catherine, find me a sail.
I've got a decent investigation.
I
Not as
mean-
good as hers, but
if you need me to spot something, I've got great perception.
Roll a dice.
I'm asking what you guys are doing to contribute to building a raft. Cecil and
yeah, and Amalia
I'm-
wants a tarp.
okay.
No,
I'm looking-
Cecil and Amalia currently aren't present to give you orders because they're off doing the things they rolled checks for. You are in the middle of the woods with nobody around you except for Stella, Cyrus, Roderick, and Rudolph's with you too, right?
Fuck.
What are you rolling, my son?
Okay.
Roll,
Danger
comrade.
Plant,
Fuck.
can you swim, or do you, or should I dismiss you? Because I'm not sure that the raft is big enough for you. But you're a plant. Maybe you love the water.
Roll nature?
All right. Nature fun.
Probably best to leave Danger Plan out of this one.
All right. Well. All right. Shall we?
So that's another.
What do I know about? Hey, you want to find ballasts? Like, rafts need ballasts, right? Maybe there's coconuts around here or something. Something hollow that can float.
Buoyant?
I don't know.
Gets us 2 ticks,
I don't know
right?
anything about making
I'm-
ships or boats or
I
rafts.
do.
Virgil?
Okay. Listen, I
I
appreciate.
try to avoid that.
I appreciate the Kingdom Hearts method of building rafts, but
Ultimately, it can be anything, but also, like, spending 20 minutes on making a shitty boat does not exactly
Listen.
sound like a good time.
listen,
You
do
guys
one
are in
of
a
you
fucking jungle.
have a tent?
A tin?
Tent.
Oh, no, I don't.
Nope.
Right then. How about the two of you go and scavenge the ship for
Okay.
stuff?
Hey, wait. Well, what about the crawling Icalia? Are their leaves big enough to sew into a sail?
Yeah.
I
No.
I
easily.
burned that
it.
motherfucker alive.
Not if you roll for it. If you
So
roll
hold
for
on.
it, it'll
Crawling
be doable.
Icalia is just a moving regular Icalia, and regular Icalia are all the fuck over the place.
Yeah, great.
Yes. And you could probably spin that to be a nature roll, too.
No, that sounds like investigation.
I forgot.
Investigation.
Eric, what?
23 again.
Wow.
Eric smells like shit. I wonder what that's all about.
A boot.
All right, so describe how you fetch these leaves and start crafting them into a sail, Catherine.
All right. So first,
a
I tell
bit.
Danger Plant, I'm not dismissing you yet. Ballet me, will you? And so I'm using the plant to help Heart, grab on and climb to the tree. And I get to the leaves and I shout down, "Hey guys, how many do we need?"
Yes.
Should I bring like a dozen?
Don't get any. You don't hear
I
anyone
don't-
else respond.
I don't think you're low enough for them to like actually parse what your words are, but they hear you screaming. So as you're descending with, whatever number of leaves you end up electing to take with you, a worried Roderick has begun to
2
climb
dozen.
up, and he just kind of blinks twice as you're coming down and says, "Oh, I thought you were being attacked."
Oh, no. I was just asking how many I needed. I think this is about like 2 dozen. Anyway, I've got some thread. I've got some. It might even be magic thread. I'm not sure. It's from the Tiered Gardens, and it's like light silver. And so if anyone has a needle, I can totally sew these things together.
Wait, did you go around and steal all of their
I
stationery?
heard a needle.
right, thanks, Virgil. Okay, so I'm gonna double stitch
What?
this.
Oh my god, she went through and stole everyone's stationery.
And
All right. So what are you doing, Virgil?
The only thing I can think of is staring at the remnant, at what we have, and looking for any weaknesses in it with the perception roll.
Everything's happening
You're a
simultaneously. Cecil and
you're a
So we
Amalia are
don't
doc-
still
actually.
gone.
Damn it!
Catherine is coming
you're
with
a
the leaves.
doctor man. You're a doctor man. Provide against scurvy.
Please, I'm dying.
Okay, so all of that, it's all happening all at once. None of my checks are good enough for any sort of a raft to making.
At the end of the
feel
day, it's still a
bullshit.
D20.
Yeah, but I want to be good.
Alright, how's your dex? Your dex is good, right?
My dex is great.
Great. You're gonna be lashing down our supplies onto the raft so they don't go sliding off into the abyss below.
Raft ain't here yet.
Once it's here.
This is a make a raft clock, not make the voyage clock.
Alright, yeah,
What
you're
are
gonna
our guests doing? Are they
Right.
just standing around? I could persuade them to help.
Cyrus,
I don't know what I'm doing,
Cyrus and
so-
Stella are doing something a little weird, actually, now that you're paying attention to them. Rudolph is kind of just... He's chilling with Roderick when Roderick isn't fussing over Catherine's safety. Do you want to go and check in on the Tenebrae?
Yes, let's do that.
Alright, so as you get closer to them, are you doing so stealthily?
Very.
Yes, very. So, you get closer and closer, and they're both sitting cross-legged, facing one another from about 3 feet away. Cyrus is a little higher than Stella is. Stella is sitting on the ground. Cyrus is sitting on like a little root just coming up out of the ground. They're both close to a tree, and they're making eye contact, and their mouths aren't moving, but you hear some weird noises.
They're going like.
Can't exactly tell what the noises are, what they're coming from, or what direction they're like going to. Seems a little bit like they emanate from the two of them, but once again, you're not sure. Neither
Well,
of them
that's
notice it.
weird as fuck. Suppose I could just spook them a little bit. Are they like do they have that like completely zoned out meditating look on
No,
them when they're doing
they don't,
this?
They
Or
don't look like they're in a trance. No, it looks like two people sitting cross-legged, like kind of just chilling. Like nothing otherworldly kind of comes off about this. It's just the whole situation is a little weird because this isn't really something people do. Like maybe if they were really super in love, but you haven't gotten that sort of feeling from anything else they've done.
You know.
Well, I guess I'm going to crash whatever the hell they're doing because I'm sus like that.
All right, so you're breaking your stealth.
I just know for a fact that Jake and William, I think it was William.
I could observe them longer, but
They've probably been over here for about 45 minutes now.
yeah, no, it's time to stop that then. Yeah, sure. Let's break the critical.
Yeah, so how are you hiding and how are you unhiding? Use your words.
Can I drop down from a tree?
Yeah, sure, that's great. You drop down. How far away are you?
Just directly in front of them.
Just like right in between the middle of them. Just what are you doing?
So as you do, like both of them react as a person typically would. They doesn't look like they're broken out of a trance or anything.
Scream?
But they're like, Cyrus is definitely a little more startled than Stella, but Stella hasn't been startled by anything yet. And
Right.
she just kind of looks at you pleasantly and says, "Hello, Cecil. How's the raft coming?"
I'm Virgil.
Ah, right. My apologies. Cyrus kind of glares at her.
They don't look at all alike.
They're both black-furred Palturans.
Blackford.
No, you're right. Cecil just wears black.
I say we don't go miles. I say we stay.
Oh, wait. I do love the mental image of, like, as soon as Stella makes the misdistinction out of, like, a ghillie suit, Cecil's like, hey.
Yeah, Virgil's also a
both
bit
there.
hurt by this. Like, hey, come on
maybe
now.
Cecil like actually comes out with some of his twine, since this is what Virgil's fucking off to do instead of contributing to the raft.
Yeah, absolutely. Cecil does like kind of like walk over, considerably taller than Virgil.
How could
How
you
tall
mistake
is
them, Stella?
Cecil?
About 5'7", so not tall, but taller
Cecil's
than Virgil.
5'3". It's only 4 inches.
Yeah, fair enough.
4 inches matter.
But yeah, no. Cecil does walk over and is like, Virgil, what have you been doing this whole time?
Keeping an eye out.
On
Could you
us.
keep an eye out on the raft, maybe, and finish the fucking clock?
Oh, it's not like I know how to build a raft.
I mean, I don't either, and I've been just kind of doing things that make sense. I mean, it's mostly just logic, and I mean, spying on our newest friends is not exactly what I'd consider productive.
Wait, you were spying on us? Cyrus asks. I thought you just came in to say hi.
Well, I don't trust you as far as I can throw anything, to be completely blunt.
He throws darts quite well, so maybe take it as a compliment.
Well, forgive us, but we were just kind of bored, and honestly, I didn't really know how to help. Stella kind of casts her eyes from side to side. I'm not very at home here, after all. This has been
I
quite the
Don't
excursion.
know how to help either, to be completely honest myself, but what were you two doing?
We were waiting for this plan to be enacted because we couldn't think of how to help. Virgil.
Where were the sound coming from?
So as you say this, like the sounds of the jungle that are just constantly there keep happening, and they both just
Not those.
look at you like you're stupid. Roll insight.
Can I roll insight?
They're using them as cover.
But I don't.
Go ahead and go ahead and roll insight, Cecil.
I also didn't really see it. William's hard accusing.
So Virgil, Cyrus doesn't know what you're talking about, and if Stella does, she's incredibly good at hiding it.
Jake than William. I don't.
What are you inciting, Cecil?
That was a really well played kill.
You told him to roll an insight.
No. What are you rolling insight on, Cecil?
Alright, Tiffany, it's EEBIQQ.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we waiting for Fergus?
Hello?
There you are.
Hello.
Hello?
What are
Oh,
you
my-
rolling
yeah,
insight
my-
on?
I was rolling insight to read the room and see specifically as to was Virgil's accusation,
So
did it
with
have a base?
With a 14, Virgil looks like a crazy person, and
yeah, right.
But that said, these are Tenebrae.
Yeah, but well, doesn't matter. And Cecil's like, okay. Virgil,
Yes.
could you maybe use that newfound ability with the tendrils to, check the structural stability of everything that we've put together? Make sure there's no,
The sound of
horrid.
Amalia just dragging fucking logs behind her is about 20 feet away.
Yeah, make yourself useful, maybe?
Oh dear God.
I've already done my part. I've secured everything to the raft. Could use some help.
Or maybe you could like scavenge the ship.
I think if we're going to be putting it together at this stage, then Cyrus and I might actually have something to do. Stella stands up from her sitting position, offers a smile to the both of you, and then begins walking with Cyrus over to where Amalia is.
Great. Please tell me this clock gets finished.
I haven't had another check rolled.
Yeah, I wonder why. I'll roll a check. I'll roll another check. What do you need me to roll? Anything. I'll do anything.
Everyone brings all their shit, and in a way of saying, the Legos are dumped on the carpet, and all of them are unassembled in front of everyone, and you're all looking at them, and
It's time to assemble them with a bunch of dex checks.
with something from Virgil, hopefully.
All right, I did my part.
Out of character, please, Kara. Any roll will do. Anything you can think of, please.
I am an incredibly nice person, and I'm letting the Tenebrae fucking help you with this. Just pick something.
Well, I was going to do now that everything's actually here. There is the whole perceiving any weaknesses
That
in
would
it.
be insight.
I'll take it. They're helping. I. Hey, look at that.
Maybe 15, 20 seconds ago at the left of
Hey,
the
clock's fixed. We did it.
You took the clock back a step, you bastard.
Yeah, I just wanted to fuck with you. So,
Yeah,
Virgil,
sometimes it happens.
since you were the last actor, you get to describe how this raft is finished.
I hate you. I'd imagine it's a case of many hands making the work light, and just everyone working in sync with each other. I don't know what more you want from me. I don't know how to actually make a raft.
So Amalia is going to start giving out instructions to put this thing together. So Virgil, you have needles, you have dexterous hands. You're gonna
how about
sew
this?
me up.
With your
You're gonna
24 in
sew.
insight, Virgil, you realize that it's probably a better idea to put the rafts together closer to the water.
I had assumed we were.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. You're really far away from the water, which means that
We've got to lug it all the way over there again.
no, it means that you're retroactively rolling. Someone's retroactively rolling nature because I want to make a cool scene.
I'll do it.
Thank you. Virgil's the best one too, but
Harrison
24 gets it
hasn't.
anyways. So flashback to Catherine being
Anything
like,
to help you.
Catherine realizing that Virgil is aware of a massive series of underground lakes and caverns that very likely connect to the river. So it's a means of finding one that's at a high elevation that probably feeds out into the current.
Do we still have Crimple?
Yes. And
Okay.
using him, it's a very easily done thing. So you assemble the raft right outside the mouth of one of these caverns. And the reason you assemble it outside the mouth is because the highest elevation of running water that you could find didn't have a nice horizontal shaft. It had a vertical one. So you're going to be making this raft on the jungle floor and then tipping it over and making the plunge down into the depths while on
I
top
don't
of
like
it.
this. I don't like this.
All right.
You've got.
I don't like it either. Anyone
Sure.
get any better ideas? I didn't think so.
All right, great. Let's.
There is literally no better idea than getting on this ship right now.
Sweet. Yeah, let's drop it.
So, it's probably... Is anybody going to be doing anything for light? I assume dancing lights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're moving through the caverns, you're seeing a lot of what Virgil saw when he was on the back of the sloth, and that there are a great many underground water holes just spread all throughout the district that you guys kind of come into and pass through. There's a few really rocky, like slip and slide waterfalls, none higher than maybe 3 or 4 feet, that you guys all just gotta like clutch to the raft for dear fucking life, otherwise be thrown off.
They definitely don't like this.
It's,
Yeah, every time water gets even close to Virgil, he panics and clings to the nearest person.
I do want to say is that for. Oh, sorry.
Haha, cat jokes.
For an ore, Death in the West could work because it's got a flat side. Yeah.
you guys really don't need oars with how fast the current's flowing,
Oh,
but
good. Yeah. Cool.
you
okay.
could use it as a rudder to like steer.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking. Is just like making sure we don't like crash into
So
anything.
how's Cecil doing that?
Wrapping his like. There's like a mast, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, wrapping his legs around the mast and like just kind of leaning over the edge with Death in the West secure to his arm, and then just like shaking the devil out of it.
So after a very, very tumultuous and raggedy ride down this river, you guys beach. Right there. It looks like this connects to some ancient architecture that looks very different from the rest of the architecture in the Sylvan district. Cecil, Virgil, and Catherine, you all recognize this architecture as the general make of the Eshivai, this sheet metal that's just conglomerated together and built into these just ramshackle tunnels.
Fascinating.
Not going there. Nope.
It seems no matter where I go, can't escape the Eshivai.
I'm trying my damnedest.
Well, let's go.
At it being brought up, Cyrus and Stella sort of glance at each other. But we move on. So your guys' plan is to come up onto the top of this ridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're going there, or riding or whatever, I say to Cyrus, "So, you want to trade?
Trade what?
What would you like to trade?"
What?
And yeah, that's probably his reaction. Like, for the recipe. I've got plenty of books with all sorts of very interesting recipes. I'll trade you one.
The recipe of what?
For the bone thing. It's, fair.
He
That's
he
how
furrows
people...
his brow and he says, "I don't
right?
have the recipe, you imbecile."
Oh, well then... Alright, then I'll trade you a recipe for some facts you know about it?
I'm not going to be trading you anything. I have a suspicion about where it may have originated. But it's
Yeah,
frankly
so-
not important right now. Nor was
You're
it
a tough
important-
cookie to crack, are you?
Listen. if
And
you
then
keep-
she walks off.
He just keeps trying to like yell
Walks
at
off
you
the raft?
as you leave.
No, she sits back or whatever.
This is while you guys. This is after you guys have crossed the river on the raft and you're making your way up through the. It's much less jungle at this point. It's like it's not even really forest either. There's copses and
It's
meadows
mountain. It's cliff.
and cliff. Yeah, foothills.
All right, so you like it'd be like a bluff. I see.
How is Ash finding among us?
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I do want to brain him in his sleep.
Anyways, like, I was, like so Cecil, like, after that is like moves over to Cyrus and is like, ultimately, I don't really care about any of this, about that, but it means a lot to Catherine, and I could, if I mean, I've got things of monetary value that you might want to know. I mean, I could pay you. I could genuinely just bribe you.
Roll persuasion.
Great. We
No.
love to see it.
He looks at you and he says, "If my knowledge were conclusive, I would have been forthright with it. But the fact is, if I am wrong, you having this information would do more harm than good. It would set you on the wrong path. That is why I'm not so easy with it.
Yeah, okay, say no more.
That said, do you have any advice when the compulsion arises to just fucking smack the shit out of some of your friends?"
Well, I mean, the compulsions hit me too a few times, but ultimately, kind of just like as Cecil's like waffling when it comes to talking, just kind of like hands Cyrus some of the tobacco that in that brown bag, and is like, yeah, you
Yeah,
might
it's
want to
like
be sharing this.
Yeah, take a healthy interest in last wrestling.
Cyrus just declines simply, but thanks you with a nod. I do appreciate
I'm
it.
surprised he didn't hand him oranges.
They're all gone at this point.
Yeah, we used them to mark people in the darkness.
I just assumed that Cecil's coat became a bag of infinite oranges. Fuck it.
So Cyrus, something interesting that I've noted is you don't seem to be a man of vices.
Oh, I certainly have my vices, just none that I can carry with me.
I see. Well, I mean, fair enough. Yeah. On the topic of not wanting to, be on the verge of throttling any of my companions, I suggest having maybe just like a bag of sand that you just grip really hard when you're, talking to someone. Helps with me.
You have good perception, right?
Passive 19. Yeah.
You can probably clue in that Cyrus keeps, he's not even going so far as to open his mouth, but when it feels right, like he would respond, he doesn't. And next to him, Stella's moving very strictly, as opposed to fluidly.
Cecil turns over and is like, that's an interesting. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Huh. And he's just kind of like walking backwards at this point, eyeing Stella, as like his perception on the dynamic is now drastically changed.
Stella kind of looks at you over her shoulder and says, "Hello. Something wrong?"
Not with me. And Cecil turns around, shrugs, and continues walking.
Alright, so, it's...
Oh, by the
some-
way, if you thought Amalia was happy while she was doing master wrestling, she was even happier for the brief time that they were on a boat.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Just like gentle pats.
Like she just looks back at having to leave the raft behind.
I bet she just absolutely devastated. The music from the Incredible Hulk's in the background. She's just like,
So yeah, Eric, what were you?
I am compelled to let you guys store that raft as part of Danger Plant.
Sure.
But,
Absolutely, I won't turn it down. I just have to.
But it would make it so that you can't summon Danger Plant without part of him being a raft.
No.
Alright.
so Danger
make it
Plant just fucking fusing into the raft.
Wait,
That's-
what would that mean? Part of Danger Plant being a raft?
Danger Plant's large in size, right?
Probably by this point.
So yeah, imagine like
The
Transformers.
danger plant going all King of Hyrule.
It isn't worth an 8-step clock that we can fill in like under.
All right,
like
but listen, you might not be in a jungle the next time.
And also, listen, Amalia really
would-
wants to keep the raft.
So would Danger Plant be
You
unable
would also be able to bring it into Eden.
Oh. But what would be the downside?
The downside is the danger plant aesthetic. It would look like a raft transformer.
I mean,
Awesome!
I think Transformers are cool, so
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Like, if you think it's cool, then it's only positives.
All right. In that case, yep.
All right, great.
I don't know when I put this here, but apparently Cecil is proficient in the Chinese language.
what the fuck?
Oh, I think you just put that there because you know Azunian.
Oh right. You-
Cecil knows his. You know what? I don't care.
Anyways, so
Which is Japanese, you godless racist.
hey, there.
No, I don't think it was an Azunian.
It absolutely had to be Azunian because nothing else is Chinese.
There we go.
So the sun has absolutely set at this point, and darkness has fallen. It doesn't look like Stella has any inclination or is pushing for a stop, but Cyrus, Roderick, and Rudolph definitely are.
Where are we at this
I am
point?
so not climbing this in the middle of the night.
We here?
Well,
you are at the
I mean,
X in the southwest.
I suppose we could, if no one else is up to it, we could always make a stop here. I mean, I could go ahead and scout out and see if there's any great looming threat or danger while you guys make camp. That could be something we do.
You certainly like to scout out a lot. Why not just rest by the fire with the rest of us for once?
I mean,
I could scout. Stella offers.
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Sure, why not?
She gives a smile to everyone, kind of leans forward and stands up off the log that her and Cyrus were sitting on, gives everyone a little wave, turns, and walks off.
Immediately as she leaves, Cecil sidles over to Cyrus and is like, "So what was she keeping you from saying?"
What's that?
Well, during the walk, there were a couple of times in our conversation where I could see your lip move and you were about to speak, and then she started walking all rigid.
Oh,
Fee is definitely eavesdropping if she can hear.
no, this is in front of everybody. Oh, you'll have to excuse me. I'm just a little indecisive with the things that I consider prudent to say in the moment. That's all, and it's a little bit of a tender subject.
Alright, what's her deal then?
What?
Stella. Well, her heart is in the right place, but she was assigned to me, and I believe she may be looking higher than her station should allow. In her aims, I mean, in her goals. I have to be careful what I let on, especially in her presence. That said, much of that discretion is also shared with a lot of you. I have to, after all, knowledge is kind of the only thing I hold over you, isn't it?
So, I would like to roll and say here, is he scared of her? Is he be around her?
Go ahead and roll. It seems like he's scared around a lot of things. You guys included.
That's fair.
Actually, I'm curious. Can I, in a flashback, if you will, roll Arcana to see if there was if there was any sort of
Sure. Describe what kind of. So Arcana is magical knowledge. It would be
Yeah,
looking
so,
for symbology that ties to magic that you know of. Are you looking for similarities between them and what you saw on Jidect?
No. What I am looking for is kind of seeing being the perception was to map out the fact that whenever he stopped talking or clammed up, she got rigid. She stiffened. And that is, for all intents and purposes, looks vaguely psychic in some regard, right?
It also looks like maybe she's listening very keenly for the same information you guys are trying to pry, and that rigidity is more a sign of her discontentedness at him refraining to say anything.
I see. So never mind. No rolls necessary.
Yeah, I myself was gonna say that it could even before that had occurred, that stuff like that, I know people who move very rigidly when they don't want to say something either, so that could have also have been her way of shutting up about anything.
Aside from that, I'm gonna start setting up camp.
Ooh, I
then.
have a headache.
Just to occupy themselves, Roderick and Rudolph definitely start to help you. And while doing so, Roderick kind of... He looks at you for a couple seconds too long, a couple of times, before finally saying, Cecil, I want to thank you.
Why?
I can't help but keep thinking about what we left behind at that crater, and it's infrequent that the things I do leave behind a message of hope. And I hardly contributed. I only helped with a few bodies' burials, but you've done a good thing, I think, for the people of this district. Something that never even really occurred to me outside of burying only Abraxi.
Cecil doesn't really say anything.
You and Central were close, yes?
We are, yeah.
Well, he's been taken by that, I have no idea, Ashton. God, Reactor was just such a hotbed. Christ. I want to break his neck. That...
Tell him he's acting kind of sus.
Hey, Tiffany? Tiffany?
So what was Roderick saying?
He says he did get taken by that black-garbed fellow, and I'm just wondering what your feelings on that are. It leaves me a little uncomfortable.
Well, that wasn't me. That was not me. Oh, fuck me.
It's Caro.
Yeah, okay. Caro, your mic's scuffed. Anyways.
We're killing Wyatt. Wyatt's just gonna die with how loud he has to
Yeah,
listen
it's
to
true.
this.
Anyways, so,
Rip.
yeah, okay. So Cecil kind of stops doing what he was doing and is like, well, I think of it as very simple. I mean, if they were friends, I can rest easy knowing Sentra's alright. If Arthur is using Sentra as a bargaining chip, I'll kill him.
Maybe it's just something I've struggled with, but I tend to be so protective of the people I care about that I can't stand having them far away from me.
Well, simply put, I fought Sentra a while ago, and we were on relatively equal footing. And for all intents and purposes, I think we would be on equal footing if I were to ever go toe to toe with Razorface, Arthur, whatever you want to call him. So I'm not exactly concerned for Sentra's well being. Personally, I just hope that they aren't doing anything too reckless in these odd times.
He kind of gives you a concerned look and says, "Do you know anything about the Bastio district?"
Not at all.
It's not quite Razorface that concerns me, more the location that Arthur likely brought him.
What do you mean?
The Bastio district.
Oh fuck, he's an Arium.
Well, he looks like he's kind of fishing for the words. What we've learned of Arium, the workings of their hearts, feels like it was intentional. Something to keep them weak. And it makes me very... I don't have high hopes for meeting their creator is all.
I see your concern now.
Listen, my concern is only with Sentra insofar as how it relates to you. I of course care for him as a human. Or rather, a mortal, I guess. But I've seen people have those close to them wrenched away, and they usually don't recover into anything that's close to what they were.
Well, you see, I function, regardless of whether or where. I function very, very well. Maybe not to my personal detriment, but at the moment, I cannot think of myself as a person. I can think of myself as an entity that will inevitably stop two worlds from colliding. As much as I personally would love to quit right now, find Sentra, and then stop this shit, I can't think of it like a person. You feel me?
Well, I can. So, feel free to ask me for any favors.
All I'm asking, as my first favor, is in the Bastio district, what should I expect when it comes to Sentra? Should I expect him dead?
Well, I don't know how... I was pretty far away while you lot were fixing him. I don't know how that turned out, but...
He was stabilized.
Yes, but was he still an Arium?
Yeah, he got his other half, I believe, from Guido, the fucking bastard.
And he also got plant bits, like a lot of them.
I mean, Catherine also did a few things when it came to, just replacing some aspects with botanical items. But I don't.
If Arthur's close with him like you say, he will be protective of him, and I don't think we have anything to worry about in the short term. However, it's likely that if that's where they went, it's because they fear for a long-term solution, and maybe this only works in the short term. And that might mean taking a lot of parts out and replacing them.
At the mention of even the concept of Sentra losing what he might have once been because of the idea of slotting machinery in and out. It's weird how Death in the West's kind of always moving frame becomes more rigid as this is probably very uncomfortable to look at close up for a long period of time, but depending on the news that Cecil has been hearing, I'm pretty sure Roderick can see it growing eyes and teeth in weird unison synced to how Cecil's mannerisms are changing to a degree. As like, if it's touching him, it has this weird, almost empathetic reaction to the internals of Cecil, which is
So Roderick is glancing at it occasionally, and almost for the first time, he's not looking at it with disgust anymore. He's just kind of regarding it as part of your body language.
and right now, and this was the build up to this specifically, is that right now the concept of like Centra being lost in some sort of operation that would revert something in his mind, or like all of the worst thoughts of like you know we like the whatever dementia analog this may be, it starts to just like grow these like weird like not like there's no sound coming out of it, but it looks like a bunch of like yelling faces, and by faces I just mean mouths, where it's just like coming out the shaft of just like these like pained expressions, while Cecil's face is rather blank, and he's just like, I see.
Yeah, there's already a sabotage, so reactors can't.
Yet again, I'm reminded of how fucking horrifying Death in the West is. Thank you.
Everyone else is right
It's just-
there. This is just around the campfire.
It's just Gygus.
Yes, well, I'm saying that out of character. Because, Christ, that's horrifying.
Just Gygus, really. You get right there into it.
Somebody get Paula. We need to start praying.
Can we work on our projects and clocks while we're
Yeah, it sounds like this is a long rest.
all right?
This is a long rest, yeah.
Good.
I'd
Sounds
like
good to me.
I'd like to keep working on my X-ray machine.
All right, so
Well, I'm
are
not
you-
really paying attention to the conversation because
You
I'm very
you have
busy.
a lot of the stuff that you retained from the tiered gardens. So you have the materials. You just need to like set up. Roderick has a collapsible desk that you fondly remember because you guys would both share this on the road during your many long vacations together. And he just kind of like kindly sets it up for you and helps you organize all the pieces while you do the important bits with like maybe half of a microscope. Go ahead and roll botany.
All right.
Is botany or
And botany is
Alchemist supplies.
Nature. And alchemist supplies, and yeah.
Can I surge it?
Yes. Let me just take a minute to remind you how contributing to clocks in the downtime works. During a short rest, you can contribute 1 tick as a success. During a long rest, you contribute 2 ticks as a success. If you don't think 17 gets it, then surge. If you do, then don't.
Okay, I think
you either
17
have
gets
you either have 2 ticks to gain or lose here.
Okay. 17 probably gets it then. All right.
It sure does, but the clock's broken.
Rip.
Oh, great. Now I have only 2 ticks left.
So while this is happening, Cecil stands up and is like, Valdana? Valdana? Hello?
Nothing happens.
Fuck. Just like, Paragon of Shadows. The Absence of Light. A cool title. Come forth. I have a question. Valdana, please, if you're around.
Are you there, God? Are you there, Valdana? It's
It's me, Cecil.
I have a question. I mean, maybe we should kill the light. I don't know.
I will go ahead and roll the medicine to be sure I gain those ticky ticks.
I'm. What should I roll in order to attempt contact with Valdana? Is that an Arcana roll?
What are you rolling this for, Virgil?
Attempting. Oh yeah.
I
Virgil.
saw you mess with the Abraxy, so and I was doing that anyways.
Oh wait,
So,
wait! I thought the
I wanted to
Abraxy
make sure you had
parasite-
that clear.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What were you working on, Catherine?
The X-ray thing.
The X-ray thing.
Basically, a parasite that if someone swallows it, they'll
Yeah,
emit spores that will grow into.
That's
Yeah.
a Catherine thing.
Yes.
And you're also contributing to it, Virgil?
I thought that was I thought that was the clock for the serums that I had.
It is. I think, like, as far as I am remembering right now, this is something both of you have contributed to.
Okay.
Fuck it. Yeah, you finish.
All right. So, I hand it to
So you guys,
very excitedly, like a schoolgirl with a crush. I hand it to Virgil.
instead of coming up with a potion / parasite, what you do is, you come up with a method of indefinite incubation for a parasite that Catherine was creating, and this parasite functions. Is that good or bad?
High is the most amazing thing in the world.
I'll second it.
All right, what do you want this to do? Because this was going to be, you guys give this to Abraxy and it helps you get information from his brain.
Basically, it grows tendrils throughout his body, and in theory, it doesn't cause any harm. And then it withers, and the spores come out, and I capture them with a device, and then I use them to grow into more or less the shape and of his insides. And
Okay, great. So that's real. I'll tell you what this parasite does then. After someone has had this parasite in their system for a day, and you retrieve it from them after they, I guess, defecate, you
I was gonna go with airborne spores, but sure, why not?
Jesus Christ! All Amalia can do is drown a district, and she's the least monstrous of our.
I guess you can just have a plus 15 to surgery rolls on them
Sure.
afterwards.
Okay, sure. All
Like,
right.
that's-
It's
well,
not
that's-
didn't come out quite the way I thought.
Hold on,
but
hold on,
it's for you.
hold on. Caro, what do you want from this?
You know,
Yeah, what do
I
you
have
want
to
from
be
this,
honest.
Pharaoh? Go on, tell the class.
I was just trying to make my suggestive serum. I don't know how that started to relate to the Abraxy parasite, but somehow it did.
You're making. What do you want from a suggestive serum?
He wants suggestion in a ball.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
You
like
want
a
to be
serum
able
of
to
bird
take
or
a
something.
syringe and stab it into someone's neck so that you can cast a spell that wouldn't work after they've witnessed you done this?
I think he wants.
Do you
Told
mean
me
like,
to assume
Gios?
they would witness.
I think he wants mind control serum.
You want a Gios serum.
Yes, I think that is what he's after.
Oh my
I'm
god.
waiting for Caro to say it.
I was going for the suggestive serum because,
That's
diluting
not how the
mind
spell
and-
works, Caro. Suggestion works if they're undecided on their opinion of you. If you stab a dude in the neck and then they start to like you, they're gonna think something's fucking up.
Okay. But hear me out. It's not a complete copy of the suggestion spell because, fucking drugs, they make you very receptive to new ideas.
Yeah, guess what?
No,
Guess what Gios is? It's suggestion. If it didn't have that first part.
I guess that's true.
Great.
If
So
you care
never
to be
mind.
splitting
Never
hairs
mind.
about
Your
it.
wacky, ridiculous surgery parasite's not done yet. It's 6 out of 8, and I'm just gonna make another clock for this and say you're at 4 out of 8, Virgil.
I was already at 4 out of 8.
So this is not affecting. So this.
If somebody
so
else,
this is
if
different than
somebody
my
else,
parasite now.
yes, it's different from your parasite, which is no longer done.
Okay.
If somebody else agrees that Caro should be at 4 out of 8, or that he already was at 4 out of 8, I'll put him at 6 out of 8. Otherwise, it's at 4 out of 8.
Eric, you know I keep notes.
Yeah, but you were probably keeping notes about the wrong fucking thing.
No.
I mean, I can
I've
lie
had,
for you if you'd like.
I've had in my bio 8-step suggestive serum clock 4 out of 8.
All right. If it's in writing, I'll do it.
He opens up a Google Doc, sweating fury. No, I'm joking.
It's right there. You can look at it. I haven't touched it. I also actually, I do need to touch it because I need to change Krios Hymnal into Primaveral, I believe we were calling him.
Yeah.
So
I feel
different pasta?
I feel like they should knock a notch off the Iceman like spiritual.
he ain't got nothing to do with it.
Honestly, I do like the mental image of can Cecil help with the parasite clock?
If he only wants. Oh, if Cecil can help with the parasite clock. If you don't want to do anything else for the long rest, yes.
Well, I mean, what else is there? Okay, actually, I don't know much about D&D long rests. What else could I be doing?
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
It's the same as a downtime in
yeah, but there
It's-
isn't less. But there's no. But commodity is different, so I was just curious.
True. You could.
Basically,
start a
this is your
long-term
Wait,
opportunity.
Eric? Eric was saying something, Stuart.
You could start a long-term
He's just
project.
gonna be smarmy.
Which mean no, I'm not, Caro. I'm smarmy at you because you're stupid. You could start a long-term project, which means you could work on training one of your ability scores, which would have a clock. You could work on getting a proficiency. You could work on improving a proficiency to an expertise since you're a rogue. You could work on making something. You could work on studying something. You could work on learning something.
Yeah, okay. Could I make a long-term clock to figure out how Rahimim manifested and where I should go from there?
Yeah. So
That's
this
a
is going to be
good idea.
understanding Rahimim. I'm going to make it a flat wisdom check.
Okay. Can I? And I can still search this, yeah?
You can't push during downtime in PBTA, and I think it's probably for a good
Yeah,
reason.
but we're not playing
Whoa,
PBTA,
wait.
are we?
Please. All right, then I'll just reroll.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you reroll.
Wow.
No, have we pushed? We
Yeah,
have
no,
pushed
that's the
already
thing is
during
that we did
downtime.
it. We did
have
push
pushed
in
it.
PBTA.
Okay. I'm just gonna raise DCs across the board then, since you guys automatically recover after long rests anyways.
So
Yeah,
I
you can push. You can.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to redact your reroll since it sucked?
No, because I think a 16 is a lot more reasonable than a 15. Just because
I mean, that does change a modifier by 1 usually.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
it's fair.
So no, I won't get rid of the reroll. But do I get it? Does the clock go up?
I think that was to make the clock.
Oh, was that to make the clock?
So,
Oh, nope, you got a tick.
describe how you're doing it.
I think Cecil is like doing just really rigorous testing on what Rahimim does to like the world around it in a lot of weird ways of just like freezing certain things.
Okay, so if you're
And,
doing,
like, yeah,
if you're
it's like
doing
that.
tangible experimentation, I'll give you a choice. You can either
Okay.
finish this long rest with 0 points of focus and have 2 ticks in this clock, or you can have all of your focus and 1 tick in this clock.
What is focus?
Effort, excuse me.
What is
All-
effort?
Wait. No. Wait, all 3?
Yeah, you're testing it rigorously.
I mean, that's really harsh considering effort also triggers materia and everything else. So I think. Oh shit.
I was kidding, by the way, when I said I'm raising DCs across the board.
I know,
well-
we still love you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
And like maybe foreboding question. When do you think our next long rest would be?
Well, let's see.
Because I have 3 points of effort, and I kind of have to
It's-
use them
You guys
conservatively.
are gonna get to the top of this cliff, and it's kind of in the backs of everyone's minds. Nobody really
Okay.
knows a great way to get to the Bastio district that isn't through connection to one of the other districts. So you might be
I
traveling a
Okay,
while.
can I just ask something?
Yes.
Fergus, when have you ever played conservatively?
when I only have 3 of something.
You wasted like 3 of them, like fucking around with Amalia's cure.
Yeah, but that was because I knew nothing was going to happen that much. That all I'm saying is that like
Would you
just
know
going.
that in
Wait,
universe though?
shut up. Does going into Eden count as a long rest?
Yes.
All right. Well, then yeah, no, sure. Then it means nothing because we're gonna go to sleep.
Great. So
Yeah, I've
2
drained
ticks.
my effort. 2 ticks. I know Eric didn't confirm that, so I'm assuming that I'm gonna get shit on. But
You through this this intense almost workout like introspection, using Rakyamim, disabling it, fucking with things that are under its effects. You notice in the middle of the night, Rudolph is watching you.
hi, what's up?
I don't know. I had a really weird dream. In fact, I'm not sure it's over. He looks a little concerned.
What do you? I mean, can I ask why?
It was like I was in a big town, and all these people were around, but they weren't people. It was like fire. Like people were fire, and it was their life. And the bigger it was, the more they had.
I see. That is an interesting dream.
And yours is really big right now.
Right now, like you can see it.
He gives you a
Yeah.
tentative nod. It seems like he's still half asleep.
Well, that's interesting. What do you think that might mean?
It looks like he's the look people get when they're just staring into a fire is what he looks like as he's looking at you. His eyes are on your chest. And just a note, Rakyamim is currently active on an object you're experimenting on.
Rakumim is active. Yeah, and what it is that Cecil was throwing a rock, freezing it, letting it go, and then freezing it again. As like he just as a test, thinking about it, unfreezes the rock as it just goes zooming into a tree and crashes, and like sees, looks for any, specific like facial change on.
There's no real change, but they're still looking at you in the same way. And after a couple of seconds, Rudolph simply says, "I'm gonna go to bed now, Cecil."
Good night, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna turn in too soon. But yeah.
Turn
good
into
night.
what?
Catherine is forcibly removed from the scene by gunpoint.
Rudolph kind of turns and goes back over to his bedroll.
Great.
So yeah, that's
yeah.
all I want. All that scene was for. If you want to extend
Fine.
it, feel free.
No, it's alright.
Great. You guys all wake up, and
What, do I not get to do anything?
that's right. I have too many players and
I
too
can't
many
believe it.
plans.
Get
What's up? What do you want to do, Amalia?
So, gonna do a couple of things. First
Too bad you don't get a
off,
turn. Everyone wakes up. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Wait, don't we go to Eden first? I mean, we're going to sleep, right?
I didn't
We
start the
haven't
description yet.
actually figured that, so
Okay.
Eric has been looking forward to seeing what happens when we go to Eden since we've won, quote unquote. So
so step one. Let's finish the Indestructible's altar.
Give me a roll.
Let's re-roll that.
Oh, Spaghetti-O!
you know what?
I think
We only
that's- I
have
think that's
30
the
minutes
third
left.
Would you
Reroll?
like my reroll?
That's the third reroll where you guys have rolled twice and it's been within one of the last
Yeah,
roll.
it's true.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, were you giving me your re-roll?
Are
Could be
you?
offered.
Are you, Catherine?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll again.
Yep. And this is 10 again, I swear to God.
Jonah, if you
Jonah.
hex them, I'm going to squirt you again.
Oh my fucking. Okay, my reroll as well.
Okay, that's an act of God right there. Or possibly Satan.
Let's fucking. And I refuse.
Swear to
Reroll that
fuck.
bitch.
Wow, that's evil.
There it
Much
is.
better.
There it is. There's
Much
the slightly
better.
above average roll. So, Amalia.
Does that get it or do I need a sword?
I don't know. Did it beat a 38? Describe how you're meditating on this.
So, she is just going to find a tree to lay her back against. She's going to close her eyes, she's going to cross her legs, and she's going to think very hard on the true name of the Indestructible. Basically, going through the same process that she did to unlock the altar for the Drowned King.
Your perspective immediately shifts. You can still feel the tree at your back and the soil underneath you. You feel your legs crossed and the humidity of the jungle and your hands on your knees, but you are no longer sitting where you were as your eyes open autonomously and you are on top of the frozen lake of Sepulchre. And in front of you is the Primaveral, and he is conscious. You see next to him one of the altars, but broken apart into pieces orbiting one another, its creation yet unfinished. And the Primaveral is looking down at you.
Also, did you not know about these ears?
One sec, this is a music change.
The Primaveral is playing a Game Boy made out of ice.
Out of principle, Jake. Out of principle.
Can you repeat yourself, Stuart?
Oh, did you not know about these ears?
The Primaveral's eyes kind of, almost in a tired way, just blink as if he's just woken up as his head turns, the cracking of ice following the motion, and he looks at the altar and then back at you and says, "Now I know precisely what these are. I'm more curious as to how you're manipulating my power."
Well,
So Amalia is going to get up, dust herself off, and she's going to say,
All right, is anybody else
Well?
awake while you're doing this?
Is there any reason for us not to have woken up at the same time?
Well, if you're all doing stuff at the same time, then Catherine is working on the parasite right now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'd
Roderick,
imagine that this.
I
was
thought we all
everyone-
got transported to Eden at the same time.
you're
no matter.
not. Hold on, I'm
We're not
clarifying something. Amalia didn't go to sleep. This is what
Oh.
she's doing while everyone else is working on things. Nobody else is in
okay.
Eden.
Okay.
Roderick tugs on your shirt, Catherine, and
Mhm.
points over to Amalia as, from meditation, she stands up in front of the tree.
What's she doing?
I don't know. I'm watching. And what do you say to this, Amalia?
So Amalia is going to say, well, I'm not sure if... Wait. What I'm doing is true naming. Is that your power?
No, it's not my power.
Catherine, you're not there. You're in the real world. She's.
Oh, I thought she's speaking in the real world, and I'm hearing her. and-
No, she's just standing up. It's-
Okay,
it's
because that
mimicking
would have
her
been funny if I
motions.
thought she was just like talking to a tree.
No problem. That would be funny, but it would also cause the scene to drag on. The Primaveral reaches up and places a single finger contemplatively on its chin as it says, "I don't know what you're talking about when you say true naming. However, I think I recall having a conversation on this once before. Something to do with
We
the
did.
absolute essence of something, yes?
Yeah, we call that true naming in our world.
Well, that lends more peculiarity to this, doesn't it? I am not true naming because I am using my own essence, and you are borrowing it.
She's gonna think for a second. Hold on for a second. I was doing true naming before I met you. Before you called us all here.
Great. He gestures to the altar. I'm talking about this, not your magic.
Oh no. Oh no, this is completely different. What I did was when I saw the denizens appear in our world.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you here. Are you sure you want to tell him this?
Tell him what?
That you can
That-
think about things in Eden and get their true names.
Oh no, that's not what happened. She got the Drowned King's name. She got the denizens' names from seeing them in the real world.
No, yeah, you're right. Okay, you know the names of the places in Eden, right? I got those mixed up for a second.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so when she saw the Drowned
Alright.
King in the real world, she knew the name of the Drowned King. So when the denizen called the Drowned King appeared and I saw him in the real world, I instinctively knew his true name, which is admittedly not how these things are supposed to work, based on my understanding. So I thought about the true name for long enough, and then the first of the altars appeared.
what?
Is the Drowned King's altar there?
No. The Drowned King's altar was at a piece of sepulchre that fractured into the sewer area.
Alright, so you remember how the Drowned King appeared in our world?
When the rift was opened, yes.
Right, yeah. So I thought about the Drowned King's name for long enough. And kind of turns out, I can sort of do that as well. I've never done it because it's horrifying, but
Is high good or bad?
high is good. High is bad.
The Primaveral starts to raise his hand towards you in the same way he did to Calliope. Do you want to do anything?
Yes, actually. However, before you do that, your power is waning, trying to sustain all of us at the same time. Yes?
It pauses. The hand does, midway.
I am going to be perfectly honest with you. I do not like having the power to do what I can do from that altar. So, I would like to offer it to you instead.
The arm completes its journey, but instead of pointing at you, it is open, palm faced up.
And Malia is going to attempt to, give him the Drowned King's altar.
All right, you lose the feature. Go ahead and delete it. And almost immediately, you undergo a system shock as reality around you shifts. Everyone in the real world, you watch as Amalia collapses, just face first. In Sepulchre, starting at the Primaveral's feet, dark blue coloration just shoots out like lightning across the ice and up into the air and coalesces to a single point above the two of you, almost as if you were in a snow globe, before what feels like the sky shattering around you accompanies your vision going completely dark and your eyes open and your face is currently in the dirt of the jungle.
The doctor is immediately on there
so,
and doing vital checks.
What was that?
Um,
Hey, Amalia?
Yeah, Amalia pulls herself up and she's going to say, yeah, well, I think I helped her boss out of bed.
As you say this, a glimmering metal starts to manifest from thin air, highly refined and ornate, and of the same brass color as Antikythera was constructed with. As it begins to manifest, it slowly coils into the shape of a gauntlet that's situated around your left arm, Amalia, going from about halfway up your bicep all the way down to your fingertips. And it feels weightless to you.
Fee whistles.
You feel
Nice. What does it do?
On the other side, on Eden, the Indestructible's altar has completed.
Eric, I'm so glad you took away my ability to drown everyone and gave me the Infinity Gauntlet instead.
It's like, what's your superpower? I can kill everything.
Cyrus is watching in awe from about 20 feet away, as is Stella. I'll give you the details on this later, Stuart.
Yeah, sure. Does that put any text into the help Denizen recover clocks?
Just fills them up and it keeps going.
Yes, I purged the legendary boon.
Like one of those what's it called? The spiral thingies in going. Oh, the clocks are back.
2 texts for the power of an entire alternate Denizen.
I'll take it.
I won't. Eric, you're a stingy bastard.
It should be half a clock at least.
So I'm gonna give you guys this much. You guys can this 24-step clock, this help the denizen recover clock, is symbolized by how much strength you feel coming from the primaveral. Not how
Okay.
much is there.
I see. Speaking of which, can I ask a foreboding question?
We're not done yet. This just
Oh, I
happened.
thought we were.
This just happened, and this is before everyone's gone to sleep.
Right.
This is before
yeah.
Stella's gone out to hunt. Not hunt. Scout.
Scout. Yeah. Yeah, Cecil's just kind of like sitting partially in a tree, just looking and being like, cool.
Virgil's definitely doing the checky check regardless, but
Are you doing this
Like,
with
he
the
does-
Septuagint?
no, with actual normal doctor stuff.
Alright, go ahead and roll medicine.
I'm not gonna waste Septuagint on that. Plus,
You-
you,
you-
think I
you-
want to know Amalia's strengths and weaknesses? No, not right now. I don't.
You feel this heat. Like, Amalia is almost feverishly hot, but there's no other real symptoms that it's detrimental. She's not even sweating.
Also, yes.
Well, a bit hot, but well, you did just. You say you helped our boss, so theoretically, certainly possible that it's just your body trying to keep the heat in. From that.
Oh, that would make sense because he's made of ice, and so you'd react with heat.
It's just gonna shrug. Sure, whatever. That sounds like that sounds like an explanation.
We're gonna zoom out and go back to Sepulchre for a bit. As in a place that is somewhere else, possibly below the surface of this frozen ocean, it looks like nothing but black, apart from where two entities exist. One of them is the Primaveral, standing in its looming way with its shoulders back and its chest puffed. And in front of it is a much smaller creature, curled in, arms kind of clutching its knees to its chest in a fetal position.
Can we see it?
Not in detail yet. And
But we're still awake.
your characters can't see this. This is another scene entirely. This is something
Okay.
the characters aren't aware of. And let me just go ask permission real fast.
Permission?
To kill us all. In real life, even.
You say that like he would need permission.
Fergus, check your DMs.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no. I already know what this is, then yeah.
The Primavera says down to this figure, I look forward to your sister. And the scene cuts.
Okay, that just sounded wrong.
Oh no.